As the NBA playoffs draw closer, the Boston Celtics are making noise, and not just on the scoreboard. Two of their key players have sent a message loud and clear to the rest of the league. They are locked in, focused, and ready to leave their mark. One is coming off a nagging injury, and the other is pushing hard to show that he deserves more recognition than he's been getting. If you're a Celtics fan or just someone who appreciates elite basketball, now is the perfect time to start paying close attention. Let's begin with Jaylen Brown. After missing several games due to a bone bruise in his right knee, Brown is back, and the timing couldn't be better. He was recently spotted at practice, fully engaged, moving without limitations, and most importantly, smiling. That's not just a good sign, it's a statement. Jaylen wasn't just there to go through the motions. He was locking in defensively, taking shots from all over the court, free throws, three-pointers mid-range, and showing the kind of energy that screams, "I'm ready." The injury that had kept him out wasn't a minor tweak either. It was enough to keep him sidelined during crucial games at the end of the regular season. And because of that, he didn't meet the minimum number of games required to be eligible for NBA season awards. But here's the thing. Individual accolades aren't even on his radar right now. His sole focus is getting healthy, being ready, and leading Boston deep into the postseason. When asked about Brown's status, his teammates and coaching staff were all on the same page. No concerns whatsoever. That kind of unity and confidence says a lot. Everyone seems to believe that when Jaylen steps back on the court, he'll be the same player who's been a force on both ends of the floor. One of the veteran players even commented that Brown looked great during workouts, showing no signs of discomfort. That tells you all you need to know about his mindset. He's not just aiming to participate, he's coming to dominate. And honestly, that's no surprise. Brown has a history of showing up when it matters most. Think back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Think back to the NBA Finals. He was there, leading by example, putting up numbers, setting the tone. Sure, he missed out on a few awards this year, but when it comes to the playoffs, banners matter more than trophies. Brown knows that. The fans know that. And the Celtics as a team are moving with that energy. His shooting numbers last year were impressive, with a shooting percentage north of 50% while going up against some of the toughest defenders in the league. He led the team in steals and brought consistent pressure on the perimeter. That's the kind of presence you can't just replace. You don't win titles without players like Jaylen Brown on your squad. And now that he's back, there's a sense that Boston's playoff push just got a serious upgrade. But it's not just about his physical recovery. It's also about the message he's sending. He's letting the league know that a knee injury isn't enough to hold him back. That he's mentally tough, physically ready, and emotionally locked in. It's almost like he's got unfinished business, like last year's deep playoff run wasn't enough. He's coming to prove that he's still elite, still a top-tier two-way player in this league. Watching him move, shoot, and defend at full speed again is exactly what Celtics fans wanted to see. There's still some uncertainty about whether he's 100% healed, but judging by how he's been performing in practice, it won't matter. Brown looks like he's on a mission. And when a player of his caliber is this locked in, you know something big is coming. While all eyes are on Jaylen, there's another storyline brewing quietly, but just as important. Another Celtics player has been quietly pushing through his own injury and proving just how much grit and determination this team has. Over the past few weeks, he's been playing with what's called a mallet finger, which means the tip of the finger drops down due to a torn tendon. Not the prettiest sight, especially for a basketball player who relies on his hands for everything. But he kept showing up. He kept playing. And now, things are looking up. He recently gave fans an update saying that he can move the finger again. It's not perfect. There's still some discomfort because he hadn't been using that part of the joint for a while, but it's manageable. He's been wearing a brace to protect it during games, and despite that, he hasn't missed a beat. In fact, he's played extremely well while wearing it. Now the brace is gone. He's only wearing a light splint for support, and says he's ready to go full throttle. It's the kind of toughness that doesn't always make headlines, but plays a huge role in winning championships. He even joked that it was lucky it was just his pinky because, as he put it, you only need your index, middle, and ring fingers to shoot. That kind of mindset, that adaptability, is what makes this Celtics team so dangerous. With both players trending in the right direction health-wise, the Celtics are positioning themselves to enter the playoffs at full strength. And that's a scary thought for the rest of the league. If these two can stay healthy, and all signs point to that, they'll be major contributors to what could be a historic run for Boston. We're talking about a franchise that's aiming to do something it hasn't done in over 5 decades. Win back-to-back NBA titles. You can feel the energy building. The fans, the players, the whole organization, everyone's dialed in. There's something different about this squad. It's not just the talent. It's the chemistry, the hunger, the way they play for each other. Even in games where they've been down early, the bench unit has stepped in and flipped the script. That depth, that trust in the next man up, it's what separates good teams from championship teams. And speaking of impact players coming off the bench, we need to talk about the guy who's making a serious case for Sixth Man of the Year. But let's save that for what comes next. Now let's talk about the spark plug off the bench. The guy who's been quietly building his case all season long and is now poised to explode in the playoffs. Last year, his role was more limited. He averaged around 18 minutes per game during the postseason, with just over 6 points and 2 assists per appearance. Solid numbers, yes, but not the kind that make headlines. Back then, he wasn't at the top of the coaching staff's rotation. He wasn't seen as a game changer, more like a useful piece to plug in when needed. But this season, it's a different story altogether. He's been on a tear. His confidence has skyrocketed, and his game has grown in every possible way. Now, even coming off the bench, he's logging nearly 30 minutes per game. That's a huge jump, especially when you consider he started only 2 games this season, and those were just late-season fill-ins to rest the starters. What that tells us is that the coaching staff trusts him, not just to eat up minutes, but to make a real impact. And let's not forget about what he brings on the defensive end. He's no slouch on that side of the court either. He plays with intensity, with purpose. He might not always stuff the stat sheet with steals or blocks, but he knows how to stay in front of his man, how to contest shots, how to rotate at the right time. That awareness, that focus, it's what makes him so effective even when the numbers don't tell the whole story. Heading into the playoffs, his mindset is exactly where it needs to be. He's not just hoping to contribute. He's determined to be a difference maker. And you can sense it in the way he talks, the way he carries himself. He recently spoke about the possibility of winning Sixth Man of the Year. And while he admitted it would be an honor, he also made it clear that it wouldn't change who he is. He's not chasing awards. He's chasing greatness. He's chasing wins. The award would be nice, but for him, it's just another line on the resume. It's not the goal. The goal is to help his team win another championship. This is the kind of hunger that championship teams are built on. Every title-winning squad has that one guy who comes off the bench and turns the game around. He may not be the top scorer. He may not be the guy with the highlight reel dunk, but he makes the plays that matter. The clutch three-pointer, the key stop, the perfect pass in transition. And right now, that's who this player is becoming for Boston. He already gave us a glimpse of what he's capable of last year during that wild playoff run. There was one shot in particular that Celtics fans will never forget. A deep half-court buzzer beater against the Mavericks that turned the tide of the game and, in many ways, set the tone for the rest of the series. It was one of those moments where time stood still, the arena erupted, and you just knew this was our year. That shot symbolized everything this player is about. Fearless, focused, and never afraid of the moment. And if history repeats itself, it won't be the last time he saves the day in the playoffs. Whether it's by grabbing 10 rebounds, picking up 4 steals, or dropping 30 points off the bench, he's going to have at least one game where he carries this team. And that's not just a prediction. It's a belief built on everything we've seen this season. He's earned that trust. And when he gets hot, there are very few players in the league who can cool him down. What makes this even more exciting for Celtics fans is the depth that this kind of performance unlocks. Everyone knows about the starters, Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, White. They're all playing at an all-star level. But it's the second unit, the guys like him, that turn a great team into a championship-caliber juggernaut. When the starters go to the bench and the other team brings in their backups, that's when Boston pounces. That's when the momentum shifts. Because our second unit plays like a first. And this guy is the heart of that second unit. That's why the Sixth Man of the Year conversation matters. Not just for recognition, but because it confirms what we already know, he's one of the most valuable pieces on this roster. The regular season showed us that he can produce consistently. Now, it's time for him to prove it in the biggest moments. The road ahead won't be easy. The competition is fierce. There are teams out there hungry to knock off the defending champs. But Boston is deeper, tougher, and more experienced than they've been in years. And this player, this unlikely hero off the bench, is ready to shine. Whether it's draining big-time shots, locking down the perimeter, or energizing the crowd with hustle plays, he's about to be a name that every basketball fan remembers. He's not just a role player anymore. He's a weapon. And if he does end up winning Sixth Man of the Year, it won't be a fluke. It'll be the result of hard work, growth, and a relentless desire to prove himself every single night. What's clear is that the Celtics are entering the playoffs not just with stars, but with a complete team. A roster that can beat you in so many ways. And with guys like him stepping up, there's every reason to believe that Boston could be lifting another trophy when all is said and done. Because when the lights get brighter and the pressure rises, that's when true competitors rise to the occasion. And this guy, he's built for it. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a shocking turn of events, strong rumors have emerged that Joe Mazzulla, the head coach of the Boston Celtics, has accused one of his players of contaminating the team's locker room culture. The situation has stirred up a storm of speculation around the Celtics, a franchise that has long prided itself on maintaining unity and chemistry. While Mazzulla has not confirmed the identity of the player involved, whispers about internal strife are now circulating among fans and analysts alike. Mazzulla, who led the Celtics to a remarkable NBA Finals victory earlier this year, has built his reputation on his ability to foster a winning atmosphere. Yet, despite his success, concerns about an underlying tension within the team have emerged. Sources close to the organization suggest that Mazzulla recently expressed frustration with a certain player's actions, which he believes are creating divisions in the locker room. The young coach's focus on creating a cohesive team dynamic appears to be at odds with one individual's influence, which could be having a detrimental effect on team morale. This controversy adds another layer to an already intense season for the Celtics. Coming off a dominant campaign in which Mazzulla's leadership brought them the NBA championship, expectations for the 2024-2025 season are sky high. The team's incredible 64-18 record last year was a testament to their collective effort. But now, with rumors of discontent brewing, questions about the team's stability and leadership dynamics have begun to surface. Could this alleged contaminating player jeopardize Boston's chances of repeating as champions? The Celtics, under Mazzulla's leadership, have always seemed like a well-oiled machine. The coach's ability to stay calm under pressure and his track record of success, becoming the youngest coach to win an NBA Finals in over 50 years, have earned him respect throughout the league. Yet, this latest development raises concerns about what lies beneath the surface. Is the team's harmony at risk, or is this just another rumor in a city that thrives on its passionate basketball culture? As the story continues to unfold, all eyes will be on Mazzulla and the Boston Celtics. Fans are left to wonder how this drama will impact the team's season. Will the situation resolve itself quietly, or is this just the beginning of a larger issue that could unravel the Celtics' path to another championship? One thing is certain. The coming weeks will be critical in determining the true state of Boston's locker room and the strength of its leadership under Joe Mazzulla. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.